men. And I use the term ever so loosely. Hey, new year, new shop, new videos coming. Well, it ain't really a new shop. I'm out in the dirty shop, and I did some remodeling. I never actually showed the dirty shop in its entirety, but I'm sure you picked up looking at the background in some of the other videos. The dirty shop had open stud work. There was no insulation. Whenever I needed a shelf, I just nailed the 2x4 up in between the studs, and it worked okay, I guess. But you heard me bitch about how I just roasted my gonads off out here last summer, and it was hot. But anyway, I took an opportunity here. I took some weeks off of doing videos and working on bikes to complete this little project, and it was a giant pain in the arse. Let me tell you, a much bigger pain in the arse than I thought it would have been. But anyway, I put insulation in between all the studs, covered everything up with plywood, and put up actual shelves so I could get my shit organized. And I'm very, very happy with this. It worked out great. That disc sander is the dirtiest machine out here. It throws fragments everywhere. And part of doing this project was I moved everything. Everything was moved. Every little piece of scrap, every tool, everything was moved, and I got it all cleaned out pretty good. So I'm going to try to keep it a little cleaner this year. I've been toying around with the idea of moving that grinder, that disc sander, outside, putting it like under a patio, building like a little lean-to on the side of this and keeping that outside. But, I don't know. I don't think that'll work too good. I got two 8-inch grinders. It's really a luxury having two. I hate changing wheels around, so I got a wire wheel, just a regular generic wheel, a green wheel for carbide, and a CBN wheel for stainless steel. Those really don't make too much of a mess because I have over here a shop vac with a long hose, and I've got the shields hooked up on those things, so if I'm going to do a lot of grinding, I hook the vacuum up to the dust collectors on those gadgets, and that takes care of it pretty well. In the course of getting organized over here, I built this rack on the wall out of PVC to store some of my threaded rod in, and that comes in handy. I got an actual big long shelf over there that I could store round bar on it, flat stock on it, and just stuff, and that works out pretty good. Got all my other tools and accessories on a pretty substantial shelf made out of 2x8. That's probably heavier than it needs to be, but I knew I was going to be putting like lathe chucks on there. I got a mill vise on there, so I knew that was going to be heavy. And yes, up here, what do we have up there? That is a Harbor Freight Central Pneumatic nail gun. I'm getting to be a little older, and when I started doing this, I discovered that I can't drive a nail worth the shit anymore. I've had shoulder surgery, both shoulders replaced, and swinging a hammer and getting it to land square on a nail is getting to be a hard thing for this old man to do. So I bought that sumbitch, Harbor Freight, $109. Came with a big box of nails, and I tell you what, I see why carpenters use those things, man. It made this a lot easier to do. And no, this guy with the nail in his finger is not me. My wife brought somebody, a friend of hers had to go to the emergency room one time, so she was sitting around in the emergency room, and this dude happened to wander in, far tougher guy than I am, boy. He just stood there, I guess, with this nail in his board stuck on his hand. But anyway, you know, my lathe right here. Milling machine over there. Of course, air conditioner over there. And can you see the sandblaster? Nope, because the other toolbox is in the way. Yeah, there's the milling machine kind of coming around from a different position. Old jet bandsaw. That was the first piece of equipment I bought after buying the lathe, because I realized after I bought the lathe, I'm going to need something to, you know, hack big pieces of metal into workable pieces of metal, so I got that. I shouldn't have bought that, though. That's a jet, and being a union guy, we've been boycotting jet for years. I didn't know we were boycotting them at the time. I don't know if we still are. But anyway, we had a boycott against jet stuff for a long, long time. And, of course, the polisher. I got that sitting on a wooden stump because when I want to actually buff something out, I drag that outside, because that buffing wheel would be the messiest thing in here if I used it in here. But, you know, that son of a bitch throws lint and polishing compound everywhere. So I just pick that stump up and drag it outside and do my buffing outside. And, of course, the sandblaster. I'm really looking forward to spending next summer working out here. That air conditioner knocked the temperature down from, say, 107 to, you know, 96, which 96 is a lot better than 107, but I'd like it to have been a little bit cooler in here. But anyway, looking forward to next summer working out here, because I think it should be a lot nicer. Really looking forward to it. And I did buy a little space heater for out here, which I ordered it on Amazon. It's not here yet. It should be here in a couple days. And even in the winter, I think that little space heater, like I say, it's just a little one, ought to knock the chill out of the air. And I'm thinking about leaving it running all the time just to keep the humidity down a little bit and keep the dampness out and keep surface rust from forming on my equipment. I keep a lot of stock and equipment on those shelves over there. I got it rigged up with that blue tarp so that the 12-inch sanding disc doesn't throw shit all over all that stuff. So just trying to keep it a little cleaner and you know, a little less messy for me. So anyway, here's the lathe. This is actually a 2-in-1. It's a Smithy 1324. Well, 3-in-1. Mill, drill press, and lathe. Much better lathe than milling machine, let me tell you. And then, of course, right next to it, right over here, is the milling machine, also a Smithy. I'm going to do some videos about this equipment later on this year. At least I'm going to try to. I bought this thing for several reasons. Well, for one, it's a square column mill instead of a round column mill, which makes it a lot more user-friendly. For two, this is an MI-409MZ model, and the 409, the 40 is for how long the table is, and the 9 is for how wide the table is, nominally at least. And I wanted something with a big table so I could lay a whole crankcase flat on there if need be. And I wanted something with a square column so that I can move it up and down if I need to, and you frequently need to. This mill was a little pricey, but generally speaking, I'm pretty happy with it. There was some cheesy shit, which I'll get into later on. I kind of fixed on it, but I'll talk about that later. But anyway, yeah, pretty happy with the setup out here. Bought a wall-mounted shop vac. It makes a lot more sense when you're lathing something or milling something to vacuum up the chips rather than to blow them out. I mean, if you blow them out, they just end up all over the floor or wherever, and you got to sweep them up later on. So it just makes more sense to kind of vacuum that shit up rather than just blow it around. But anyway, like I said, I took a few weeks off from making videos and working on engines and stuff so I could get this done out here. So I just wanted to show you what I've been up to, and this is it. I got a 75 rebuild project I'm working on videos for right now. So hopefully in another couple of weeks I'll be getting back into the video production business. But anyway, give me a couple more weeks and there'll be more videos streaming your way. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you later. I am out of here. Thanks. Bye.